So 2020 has been quite the year for you. Let's start off with some of the high notes. You had your first Major League Baseball start this season.
hmm
What was that game day like? What were some of the highs? When you think back on your first Major League Baseball start, what sticks out for you?
I think it was just fulfilling the childhood dream of me becoming a Major League Baseball player. Um, and it was actually the second series of the year. So it was like the whole first series. It was actually, I came in relief. It was my first outing in the big league. So the whole first series, we were in Philly. Every phone call down to the pen, I was, everybody's looking at the phone, like, is it going to be me? And every time, so that was a 3 game series, and it rang each time. And I was waiting, and I didn't get called to go in playing at Philly. And then we went to Baltimore, and it was the second game there, night game, and I kind of had a feeling that it would be. We had a pretty good lead, and most of the guys had thrown already, so I was like, this might be a good chance to just get my feet wet. And then they called me in, so I had a good probably 15 to 16 pitches warming up in the pen, and Camden Yards is super nice stadium, field, everything. And that run in from the bullpen down to the mound, it felt like forever. But it was pretty cool getting the ball from Donnie. Just kind of starting off, it was a good uh, first 2 outs, and then I completed my next full inning, the next inning. So it was really cool.
Now, you had the chance to play for the Marlins this year and play for the Nationals, correct? So you saw a whole bunch of ballparks and you played against a bunch of people. When you think back on your rookie season, is there a particular game? Is there even a particular batter where you're on the mound, you're looking down at your catcher, and there's someone in the box, and you're like, man, I'm throwing against this guy? What are some kind of standout memories from this rookie season?
The first one was actually in spring. It was actually my first outing with the Marlins after I got Rule 5, and so it was first outing in spring. Came in relief. Came in with I think clean inning. So I got myself in the jam, gave up like a leadoff hit or a walk or something, and I had first and third with Yadi Maulina coming up, and that was got the ball back after the hit or walk before that, and I saw him walking up. I was like, this is a future Hall of Famer. This is like my first test of a real solidified big leaguer, and I was joking around with some friends and my family saying that I played so much MLB The Show. It seems like I had a scouting report on Yachty just from playing video games so much. And I ended up getting him to ground into a double play to get out of a pretty big situation. It was runners in scoring position, and that's kind of my job was sinker baller, go in, get ground balls, put out the fire, all that. So that was the first big like wow moment in the big leagues, and then second one was Robbie Cano. It didn't end as well as
Yep.
Yachty, but Yachty got me or Cano got me for a homer in Marlins Park. But that was just pretty cool at bat because that was the most I think I've ever had to think on the mound. Just it seemed like he's just so in control of the zone, and he knows what he wants. He knows pretty much what you're gonna do. He's been around so long. It was just a big mind battle with him, and it was fun.
You strike me as a student of the game. So this season, who's a coach, who's a teammate that either in the pen on road trips that you kind of sat next to and picked their brain? Who's a veteran teammate or a coach you kind of sat next to and learned from?
Yeah, the biggest guy that comes to mind is Kinsler, Brandon Kinsler. He basically has the exact same stuff that I do, and he's been around for a lot of years doing what he does. So I saw that he had success doing what he does, and I have a sinker changeup just like his go-to 2 pitches. We're both kind of contact pitchers out of the pen, which is not really normal in today's baseball. So I played. He was my throwing partner in spring, which I didn't start off that way. I was with somebody else, and then somebody got hurt. So Kinser, being the veteran, he was like, "Sharp, you're playing catch with me now." He didn't really ask. He just told me come play catch with him. So I joined him playing catch in spring, and that was right before the season kind of got shut down. But that was probably the best 2 weeks of throwing programs that I've ever had, just because he was so dialed in with the details and not taking a throw off and not being lazy during catch play. Because a lot of guys can just throw 20 pitches and say they're good and their arms loose, but he's locked in every pitch. He's trying to get something out of it. And we're working on sinkers, glove side, arm side, change-ups, glove side, arm side, and so he was the big guy, especially just sitting in the pen once the season got started. I was just sitting with him, talking to him about hitters like the Cano at bat. He talked to me about what he thought Cano was thinking about when I was pitching, and
Yep.
just don't really think too much about the hitters. Just kind of go with what you're good at. And I mean, everybody has a scouting report. They know what you're going to throw. Is basically what he was telling me. So just go out there and attack with what you have, and everybody knows what's coming. Really, they have a good idea, but just don't shy away just because it's a Hall of Famer in there or they look like they're on your stuff. Just keep battling.
Perfect. Now, when baseball had spring training and then it shut down for a time, a lot of players were confused about what to do. I first found out about you because of what you were doing off the baseball field during that break. Can you tell listeners some of the things that you were doing to help kids out and to help your community out during COVID, back when baseball had that temporary break between spring training and the regular season?
Yeah. So I had my foundation Sharpest Player of the Year award. It gives scholarship money to Black kids in Detroit, baseball players in Detroit, ages 12 to 18, and I started that the end of last season, and it kind of that was while I was actually hurt last season with the oblique injury, so I had pretty good time to think about how I wanted this to play out, and we ended up getting it going. And first year we had 3 winners. We raised enough money for about $1,000 per kid, and that could go to team fees for travel ball, equipment, really cleats, gloves, bats, anything, and really just kind of take care of their needs for baseball to keep them in the game. Just because some people might not have the money, and if they love the sport and they can't play, then that's just pretty unfortunate. Because baseball, I feel like everybody should have a chance to play, even if there are some unfortunate circumstances. But so this year we've got even with the short season, we raised like 3,800 dollars. So we're going to get about 14, 15 per kid with a little extra like gift cards just to even everything out. But this COVID break with the off season was just a lot of trying to raise money, raise awareness for that. I held a MLB The Show video game kind of tournament just to bring awareness and raise some money for that also, and that was pretty fun to have.
I'm an elementary school teacher, grade 5 this year. So I always love when people are making an impact on their community. I usually deal with college football athletes or NBA athletes. And I was impressed that someone of your age already knows and sees the value of impacting their community. For someone as young as you are to see that value, where does that come from? Is that from your family? Is that from what you've experienced? Where does that connection to your community come from? And why is it so strong?
Definitely big parts of my family, just really just being around them, learning from them. And I would say the other one was my little league coach, Daryl Ott, who I still to this day go back in the off season. He has a 11 and 12U team, And I just love being around the kids and just playing baseball in the off season, even when we're not playing like professionally and having our
Yeah.
season. So they have practices 7 a.m. sometimes, and I'm like,
Oh
I mean,
man.
it's just fun to be around them. So I go, and I think that's, if not more important than kind of giving money or just giving your time to the kids in the off season. Just have them see you, be around them, and see them or show them that you like having them around and you want to be around and help them out and grow their game, grow them in real life. Um, so I think Coach Ott was a big one. Just playing with him or for him for so many years, and then just want to keep giving back and kind of see the kids that are playing now in the same community that I grew up playing in just be as successful.
As a journalist, we're taught to rarely ask a question where we don't know a general idea where the answer is going to go. So I'm taking a risk here, but it was about 2 years ago. I was in the Dominican Republic in Sosua, and I filmed my first, I'm going to call it baseball documentary, but it's really just a glorified 10-minute YouTube clip about the impact baseball has on that community and just how much it means to kids, to fathers, to everybody, all that kind of thing. And so as I've traveled and done journalism and different stuff, it's amazing how different parts of the world kind of made an impact on me. When you look at where baseball has taken you, even in your relative young age, where's something that you as a kid didn't see happening and that you feel um, grateful that baseball has taken you there?
I was probably the biggest thing was friendships. Growing up, I was on. I didn't play. I didn't start playing travel ball till 13, 14 U. So I was playing like house league, everything with kids that looked like me. So I was on pretty much all black team. Just from we were practice every day of the week and have games on the weekends, and that's how I grew up playing baseball.
I
And now
love
there's
that.
travel ball where you're playing games every day, and there's no time
Yeah.
to like really get better and work on stuff. But now, just seeing how many different people play the game of baseball, that travel ball and even college and especially pro ball has kind of opened my eyes too. That's kind of the best part. Is I actually visited Dominican Republic too when I was in, I think, a freshman year of high school, and that was really eye opening seeing how much those guys that really want to like pursue baseball. They put so much
They
time
work
and effort.
hard.
Yeah, and like that's it for them to get over to the states and do what they love. Like they got to make it work with baseball. And I think the friendships that I've made just all throughout my career, baseball has been probably the best part.
Final question for you. I'm not trying to throw you a curveball. It could be a hard question or it could be a really easy question for you. You mentioned the oblique injury about this time last year. You're going through rehab right now for a season ending injury or
Mm-hmm.
one that you clean up after the season. A lot of times people view injuries as setbacks, and they are, but they're also a chance. Like you mentioned, after your oblique injury, you're thinking about how can I make a difference in the community. Sometimes through rehab, you can get a stronger arm or clean up some stuff. How have how has adversity like these injuries helped strengthen you on or off the field?
Yeah, well, like you said, it helps a lot. For my biggest example is this one, going through it right now. First day or two after surgery, I was pretty frustrated. I was just pissed off just that I had to have the surgery and this was happening to me. That first day, I think I slept for 5 hours after surgery, and it was just constant waking up, and it felt like those 5 hours took 40 hours, and I was over it. But once the pain kind of started getting away, um, and I got to PT, I started moving a little bit better. But I was talking to our my PT guy, and he was saying that this is kind of a blessing now that this has happened. We know what really works for my body in terms of strengthening it now that we're getting past the surgery and we're getting into that phase. Now I really know like how my body works and like the anatomy of it and what exercises will help me in the long run. It's like last year I was probably doing stuff that was hurting my hip and I didn't even know. So now I got a good PT guy. He's getting a strength program for me to go into next year and building off of this right now. But we're pretty much cutting out a lot of things that normal people would do for like off season building strength. And it's the moral of it is to kind of just do things that fit you. I mean, everybody's different, especially the body for everybody's different. So I would definitely say this surgery and injury is, I'm taking it as a good thing now that I'm learning a lot more about my body, and hopefully I'll get back even stronger and I'll be even better. The hip will be healthier and I'm gonna be out there sooner and throwing harder, moving a lot cleaner.
Perfect. Thank you for your time today. Good luck with that rehab. I'm looking
Yeah,
forward to
thank you.
watching you pitch again next season.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you.